evening. Glenn was right. He picked the team, Tuchel, to go and get the job done. I thought Kante was the bright spark. I thought he held it together in there. They just left it too late, Porto. When they put Taremi on and they had a little bit more physicality up there, the goal was outstanding off our feet, and it was probably, like Rio said, it was keeping us. It was the only thing that kept us awake because the game was pretty poor. Yeah. Standard-wise, it wasn't good, but Chelsea, very, very happy, business-like performance, and you'd take Real Madrid in the semi-final over Liverpool, I think, you know, and that's saying that I think Real Madrid have fallen a long way.
They've not been bad in recent weeks, won the Classico at the weekend, Joe.
Yeah, but...
Experience as well, man.
Yeah, but I just think... I think Chelsea...
What do you think, Glenn?
I think 80,000 in the Bernabeu, well, no thank you, but at that training ground... Yeah. I fancy Chelsea. I said at half-time, I think Chelsea could go all the way. Hey, listen, Liverpool could still turn it round, let's be fair.
Well, you never know.
They haven't got that 12th man that they normally have at Anfield, but...
That's very true. Well, there's 2 Champions League. They're in the last 4. They're the statistics of the game. 8 shots each side. I can't remember all those, but the only stat that really matters, of course, is that Chelsea went through by 2-1 on aggregate, and over the 2 legs, they were the superior side.
They were the superior side, yes. I think they were the most. They've done a professional job. Listen, these games sometimes can become tricky if you don't approach them in the right manner. If you're not mentally in tune with these type of games at this level, you will be punished. We saw the finish there at the end from Taremi.
Would have been very tricky if they'd scored that about 10 minutes earlier.
And there is quality on the pitch. So if you're not professionally ready and concentrated on what's in hand, you can get caught out. But you have to give it to this team today. And in the first leg, they were in tune with it, and they put in a very workmanlike at times, but professional performance.
Did it satisfy you, that?
Yeah, of course. Any time you get into a Champions League semi-final, it's been 7 years since the club's got there. So it's a massive achievement for Thomas Tuchel and the boys. It was Rio's right. It was business-like. There was nothing. The only slight criticism of the manager, I think, maybe after 55 minutes, 60 minutes, when I felt Porto were just dipping. I think if Chelsea would have stepped on the gear, made a few subs, they could have put the game to bed and got a goal, but they didn't do that. Defended very. Rudiger was excellent tonight. And N'Golo Kante in the midfield held it together. And I think it was just a professional performance. And it's a semi-final to look forward to.
The game was won in the first leg.
Yeah, it certainly was, And they deserved it. They played well in the first leg, particularly in that second half. But tonight they went with experience at the back. Those 3 centre-backs weren't going to do anything silly. They weren't going to get forward. They weren't going to leave themselves exposed. They were really experienced, those guys. Let the rest go and play. And if you get a goal, like you're saying, Joe, that's a big bonus. Just make sure nothing happens at the other end. Unfortunately for Chelsea, it happened right at the death, and they, Porto were they lacked ambition. They lacked that sort of intent to say, it's a cup game now. Let's go for it. Yeah. It didn't happen. When Chelsea didn't really have that much space to counter them. They had the odd couple of chances, but I don't know where those eight opportunities on target come from, because I didn't see them.
Oh, there was one at the end.
What, for them? For Porto?
How good was that?
Oh. It was a bit Ronaldo-esque from a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Or it was last year.
Very much so, yeah.
For Juventus, the overhead kick. But the ball in, speculative ball, but the way he just lines that up, I think it comes off his shin pad, to be fair. I don't take anything out of it, but it's a ridiculous effort. The cheek of it.
It was going to take something outstanding, because Glenn's right, the back 3 were excellent tonight. But going back to goal, he's inviting. That's inviting, and he's got it. I don't care if it's come off his shin. It's flown into the top binzels, and it was a stunning finish.
It's come off the Robson goal.
Are you sticking a lot of crosses in? Are you sticking during the game? Didn't they? They got a lot of crosses in, and Chelsea dealt with every cross. In that 6-yard box, and they went back and defended that, but he's pulled it back, and that's where he's got the bicycle kick.
That's the worst one to defend for a defender. Yeah. When they cut it back, if that comes straight across the goal where Rudiger's waiting for a ball, but they've cut it back, you've got to check. Go back the other direction, it's almost impossible. And when someone does that...
and you talk about ambition, Glenn, as well. Look at them, there are 4 bodies in the box. That's probably the first time in the game they got that much bodies forward, because I just like they went out with a whimper, really. They had a little go, but really and truly, I think when the dust settles, Conceição will be kicking himself for not letting them off the leash, at least at half-time. He threatened to make 3 substitutions at one point. They
played like it was like, we're just happy to be here. It was enough just to get here.
They didn't really believe it.
Yeah, there was no real belief in genuine belief, really.
OK, well, let's hear from the Chelsea manager. Thomas Tuchel is with Des Cast.
First half without a lot of interception in the beginning of the first half, so was a tough fight, very hard to play against them and to escape the pressure. They are a very aggressive team, Porto, and they attack in a very fluent and aggressive way. They show up they change positions all the time. They come from behind, they overlap, they underlap. You have to adapt to many movements. But with every minute after a tough start, with every minute we did it better and better. I think we defended very, very well. We deserved absolutely a clean sheet. We had the better chances, not a lot, better chances, better half chances. We could not finish it off with a goal or 2 goals, so we had to hang in there, and the guys did that. And so overall we are deserved to beat Porto. It was a tough 180 minutes.
It was an unselfish defensive performance, but was it the game plan to kill it as a contest, or did it just happen that way?
Well, I said before, we had a plan defensively. We had also a plan offensively, but we said before, normally the Porto is a team who can make other teams underperform. That happened to City. It happened in the group stage. It happened against Juve. And so you need to accept it, that things are very, very hard because they're an emotional, aggressive team and full of confidence. But part of performance is also to not let the others perform, and we did this as well again today. And was a tough team performance defensively, and until the last lucky shot in the last minute, we did not concede any big chances. And unfortunately, it was not like we missed some counter-attacks and some first touches in the offensive in the last third to maybe create a little bit more. But as in the context, we are a very young team, a very young offensive line, and the wing backs are very, very young. So in the last game, we had 2 guys who scored their first goal in Champions League. If you look at the other teams who scores there, this is a different story. So you have to accept that the circumstances and the opponent don't make it easy to maybe show the brightest performance to watch on the television, but at the sideline, it was a pleasure to watch the fight and to be at the sideline and to fight with them, and we deserve to go through.
And with all of those things involved, the young players, etc., was it absolutely important to approach this game mentally in the right way? Did your players do it as you wanted?
Yeah, it was. You can always feel it when the pressure's on. But we said, guys, we are used to it, and you can trust in yourself. We are used to it. We have played Man United, Liverpool, Everton, Atletico in 2 weeks. All of these matches every 3 days. So this is a clear advantage for us. We did not talk about the result in the first game. We talked about what we needed to do. The best thing, if you feel a bit nervous, is hard work, and use your body and make yourself sweat and breathe hard, so you forget that you're nervous. And this is what we did, and we tried to give them confidence and to show them clearly what they should do as a team. And then if it's nice for them, I think, because they know they can rely on each other, and this is the most important thing. Nobody needed to do it alone today. So, like I said, was a tough fight for both matches, and we overcome a strong side, and semi-finals is a big achievement.
A PSG got through tonight as well. Would you sit down tomorrow night and watch Real Madrid against Liverpool, and would you prefer to avoid Liverpool in an all-English clash?
I don't wish for nothing, but in general, I like it in Champions League not to play against teams from your own league, because it gives a bit more the feeling of a European competition. But that's the only thing. Whoever deserves it, I think the game is far from over, but I will watch it for sure. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch it as semi-finalist. It's like I said, a great achievement. And tomorrow we will watch these games. I think that there's nothing decided yet, and everything is possible. Liverpool is very strong at home, and let's see what Premier League is strong. So we take what we get. It's a good situation for us.
Absolutely. Well done. Thank you, Thomas.
Came down quickly after a game which isn't easy. But yeah, I think he was bang on the money there. He wanted his team to be workmanlike, make sure they go out there and work. I think that's one of the things he wants to instill in his team, is that before anything, you're going to work hard. You're going to roll your sleeves up.
Isn't that a prerequisite, really?
It is, but
should be.
But not every manager gets out of their team, and
yeah.
you like to, I think, as managers, is the team to reflect you as a person and your personality and what the characteristics that you want to see in your team. And at the moment, they seem to be doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's clearly working. He's only lost one game. Well, yeah, I mean, they lost that game, but sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's right. He reads the game so well. We are so often we have managers straight after the game and they talk, and you think, we've been watching the same game that he's seen. So he was right. This was just a tick in the box game. Get it done, get it over. The tie was won in the first leg. Chelsea should have been comb and dry. Actually, he's come here. I think now his mind's already thinking about the weekend. And Man City, I think he's just wanted to get that done. I still believe that Real Madrid is the better option in the semi-final than Liverpool. You don't want to play. I hated playing English teams in Europe.
It's interesting that. Were you the same, Rio, with English?
Yeah.
I remember you saying that before.
We played against obviously Chelsea, Joe's Chelsea team, and the pressure is just different. It's amped up. You're playing against people you know.
Does losing feel worse?
Yeah, because it's in your country. When you lose, like we lost to Barcelona, and you go away, you're reminding yourself of it. The media aren't, and your fans and the local people in the streets aren't. When you lose to an English team, anywhere you walk in England, anywhere you go on TV, it's there, and it's going to be there in your face year in, year out. For 30 years down the line, you'll keep seeing it. So, and you, like you said, I agree with him. When you play against a European team from somewhere else, it feels like a European tie. It's more like it takes you back to
if they get to the final, if Chelsea do get to the final, Tuchel will be the first manager in Champions League history to take two teams in consecutive seasons to the final with different sides.
Well, if he gets to the final, every Chelsea fan will want a different result this year. If he does get there, I do believe they've got a great chance. I really do. I think deep down, if he was pushed, I think he'd want Real Madrid. I think Rio's what the boys are saying, playing in a team in his own country.
He could even end up in the final against PSG's old club.
Exactly. I mean, there's all these permutations.